Generation Z is also going to have a massive impact on the industry, and we're beginning to see it now in the children's business. The kids' business in apparel and footwear has been some of the strongest growing categories. There's a little nuance to the kids' shoe business in that some of the brands, like Jordan as an example, do not make women's shoes. So if a teen girl wants to have a Jordan shoe, she has to buy a boy's style. And she also knows that boys' shoes are less expensive than women's shoes, so there's an advantage to her to shop in that space. But net of that effect of the business, the kids' business has been really, really strong. And kids, like their millennial elders, are really focused on sport as a cultural thing. They understand that athletes are much more than heroes on the field, that they really are celebrities and fashion icons. And so we've seen the children's business become very, very important. And even at a very young age, kids are wanting to dress like an adult. They want to wear Jordan and Nike, the hot brands in the space, and they want to look like the millennials in the way that they dress in sport footwear and apparel. I think one of the interesting things about Gen Z is it's going to be as large a generation as in terms of numbers of members of that generation as millennials. And as they get older and come into the workforce, they're going to be a huge factor in the growth of the business. So brands today need to really focus on what those kids are wearing at a young age, make sure that they are developing a brand allegiance to the sports brands so that as they get older, they maintain that allegiance and want to continue to dress in the same way. On the team sports side, I think we've seen a change in the way parents think about how their kids play sport. There's a great deal of concern today about concussions in the contact sport, football, lacrosse, soccer, and we're seeing across the country high schools not being able to field a football team because parents aren't letting their kids play the game. And we're seeing the rise of sports like ultimate frisbee, where you really don't have referees, you police the game on your own. The spirit of the game is the driving ethos behind that. I think that kind of sport is going to become much more popular for the Gen Z consumer as they get older. So I think we're going to see a change in participation levels in some of the traditional sports and a rise in more alternative sports. Most people are describing Generation Z as millennials on steroids, so I think we're going to see them express the same values that millennials do, that they're going to have the same interest in health and fitness and sports as culture. So I don't see a big change here in the way they're going to approach sport. I think they're going to be just as lighthearted. I think they're going to be just as flighty across different sports. They're not going to do one thing, they're going to do many things, and they're going to want to share all of that with their friends.